Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Examine carefully for accuracy with the intent of verification. Audit accounts and tax returns. An inspection of the accounting procedures and records by a trained accountant or CPA. A methodical examination or review of a condition or situation. He made an audit of all the plants on his property. Attend academic courses without getting credit. Come to see in an official or professional capacity. Examine carefully for accuracy with the intent of verification. Look over carefully. Please inspect your father's will carefully. Examine carefully for accuracy with the intent of verification. To look at critically or searchingly, or in minute detail. Examine carefully for accuracy with the intent of verification. To look at critically or searchingly, or in minute detail. He scrutinized his likeness in the mirror. An inspection of the accounting procedures and records by a trained accountant or CPA. A branch of knowledge. Anthropology is the study of human beings. Give careful consideration to. Applying the mind to learning and understanding a subject, especially by reading. No schools offer graduate study in interior design. Attentive consideration and meditation. Preliminary drawing for later elaboration. Think intently and at length, as for spiritual purposes. He is meditating in his study. Learn by reading books. He is studying geology in his room. A detailed critical inspection. A written document describing the findings of some individual or group. This accords with the recent study by Hill and Dale. Be a student of a certain subject. Consider in detail and subject to an analysis in order to discover essential features or meaning. A composition intended to develop one aspect of the performer's technique. A study in spiccato bowing. A room used for reading and writing and studying. He knocked lightly on the closed door of the study. A state of deep mental absorption. She is in a deep study. Be a student. Follow a course of study. Be enrolled at an institute of learning. Someone who memorizes quickly and easily, as the lines for a part in a play. He is a quick study. Subject to psychoanalytic treatment. Break down into components or essential features. Consider in detail and subject to an analysis in order to discover essential features or meaning. Make a mathematical, chemical, or grammatical analysis of. Break down into components or essential features. Subject to psychoanalytic treatment. I was analyzed in Vienna by a famous psychiatrist. Break down into components or essential features. Analyze today's financial market. Consider in detail and subject to an analysis in order to discover essential features or meaning. Analyze a sonnet by Shakespeare. Make a mathematical, chemical, or grammatical analysis of. Break down into components or essential features. Analyze a specimen. A large piece of fabric, usually canvas fabric, by means of which wind is used to propel a sailing vessel. A heavy, closely woven fabric, used for clothing or chairs or sails or tents. A tent made of canvas fabric. An oil painting on canvas fabric. An inquiry into public opinion conducted by interviewing a random sample of people. The setting for a narrative or fictional or dramatic account. The map that forms the floor of the ring in which boxers or professional wrestlers compete. Consider in detail and subject to an analysis in order to discover essential features or meaning. Get the opinions of people by asking specific questions. Solicit votes from potential voters in an electoral campaign. Put to the test, as for its quality, or give experimental use to. Observe, check out, and look over carefully or inspect. The customs agent examined the baggage. Consider in detail and subject to an analysis in order to discover essential features or meaning. Question or examine thoroughly and closely. Question closely. A statement of recent transactions and the resulting balance. They send me an accounting every month. The occupation of maintaining and auditing records and preparing financial reports for a business. A bookkeeper's chronological list of related debits and credits of a business forms part of a ledger of accounts. A convincing explanation that reveals basic causes. He was unable to give a clear accounting for his actions. A system that provides quantitative information about finances. A bookkeeper's chronological list of related debits and credits of a business forms part of a ledger of accounts. A bookkeeper's chronological list of related debits and credits of a business forms part of a ledger of accounts. The act of examining something closely, as for mistakes. A prolonged and tense look. A set of questions or exercises evaluating skill or knowledge. The act of giving students or candidates a test, as by questions, to determine what they know or have learned. The act of examining something closely, as for mistakes. A detailed inspection of your conscience, as done daily by Jesuits. Formal systematic questioning. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Be capable of holding or containing. This box won't take all the items. Remove something concrete, as by lifting, pushing, or taking off, or remove something abstract. Take the gun from your pocket. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. I don't take sugar in my coffee. Make a film or photograph of something. Take a scene. Be designed to hold or take. This surface will not take the dye. Require time or space. Take somebody somewhere. Can you take me to the main entrance? Have sex with. Archaic use. He had taken this woman when she was most vulnerable. Have with oneself. Have on one's person. She always takes an umbrella. Receive or obtain regularly. We take the Times every day. Admit into a group or community. Head into a specified direction. Pick out, select, or choose from a number of alternatives. Take into consideration for exemplifying purposes. Assume, as of positions or roles. Interpret something in a certain way. Convey a particular meaning or impression. How should I take this message? Lay claim to, as of an idea. Accept or undergo, often unwillingly. Make use of or accept for some purpose. Take a risk. Take something or somebody with oneself somewhere. Engage for service under a term of contract. Shall we take a guide in Rome? Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. Take on a certain form, attribute, or aspect. Take as an undesirable consequence of some event or state of affairs. Get into one's hands, take physically. Can you take this bag, please? Require as useful, just, or proper. It takes nerve to do what she did. Occupy or take on. Receive willingly something given or offered. Be a student of a certain subject. Proceed along in a vehicle. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. Ascertain or determine by measuring, computing or take a reading from a dial. Take a pulse. Be seized or affected in a specified way. Take sick. Buy, select. I'll take a pound of that sausage. Carry out. Take action. Experience or feel or submit to. Obtain by winning. Winner takes all. Take by force. Take into one's possession. I'll take 3 salmon steaks. The act of photographing a scene or part of a scene without interruption. Travel or go by means of a certain kind of transportation, or a certain route. He takes the bus to work. Commit to memory. Learn by heart. Impart skills or knowledge to. Get to know or become aware of, usually accidentally. I learned that she has 2 grown-up children. Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. Gain knowledge or skills. She learned dancing from her sister. Be a student of a certain subject. Have or contain a certain wording or form. The passage reads as follows. Make sense of a language. Can you read Greek? Obtain data from magnetic tapes or other digital sources. This dictionary can be read by the computer. Indicate a certain reading, of gauges and instruments. The gauge read, empty. Interpret something in a certain way. Convey a particular meaning or impression. I read this address as a satire. Be a student of a certain subject. She is reading for the bar exam. Audition for a stage role by reading parts of a role. Interpret something that is written or printed. Read the advertisement. Interpret the significance of, as of palms, tea leaves, intestines, the sky, also of human behavior. She read the sky and predicted rain. Look at, interpret, and say out loud something that is written or printed. The king will read the proclamation at noon. Something that is read. The article was a very good read. To hear and understand. I read you loud and clear. An audit of limited scope, limited in time span or confined to particular accounts, etc. An attestation that the client's financial statement is accurate. The decisive point. The last line in an audit. The line that shows profit or loss.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.